I have a community that has an unsolved homicide that the community would like to bring closure to.
In the small community of Horicon, a big mystery brewing. It's our last installment of Cold Case Wisconsin. 6 years ago, someone killed Laura Babe and set the scene on fire, making her death nearly impossible to solve. Good evening, I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Michelle Lee. Police never found a weapon, and there hasn't been a tip in years. So, did someone pull off the perfect crime? In this Cold Case Wisconsin, we sent News 3's Investigates Jennifer Hoff to find out.
Michelle, Laura's case, the only unsolved murder in Horicon, and it's taken quite a toll on investigators and the people who remember that day like it was yesterday. In a town as tiny as Horicon,
I would never expect that. I grew up in Milwaukee, you saw it, but never here, you know.
Murders are hard to come by.
Yeah, I'd say it was about midnight.
Until September 6, 2007.
The ambulances and the fire trucks came down this road, which we live on.
When business owner Susan Haiti watched what happens after one unfold from her store window.
It was just a lot of activity.
That year, police records show 211 Washington Street was the top spot cops were called to for drug and alcohol crimes. But that night, a killer came and lit Laura Babe's apartment on fire. But it was clear that's not how she died.
She died from blunt force trauma, and that was apparent even in her charred remains.
Just weeks before, Laura had met with Police Chief Joseph Adamson.
And we sat literally in this exact spot.
The two talked about her troubled teenage son, the only one of her 3 children living with Laura. Adamson remembered she was sick, had surgery, and wasn't working. But he hasn't figured out why someone seemingly targeted the 39-year-old divorcee.
Motive is a challenging thing to assign right now. I can with a degree of certainty say that it was a very personal crime.
He interviewed hundreds of people, followed up on that unfamiliar gold Ford Taurus neighbors saw, sketched a possible person of interest, and tested the trace amount of DNA in Laura's apartment.
One of the other things that happened, which was of interest, was that her husband had gotten shot and killed during a home invasion.
James Babe, a convicted burglar and registered sex offender who met Laura and married her while in prison. But had he gotten away with her murder?
It was not at all related. It was a coincidence.
Authorities never charged the Okachi homeowner who claims self-defense in the 2011 shooting, and that lead, including all the others, died along with James.
When we hit the 5-year mark, we reconvened the investigative team.
The team tried a new tactic then in 2012 and distributed decks of cards to inmates depicting Wisconsin's cold cases like Laura's. The program hasn't produced any arrests. Maybe the new flyers honing in on Horicon's Hispanic community would help. Come 2013, Adamson still hasn't had much luck. But buried deep in the 4,000-page case file is his hope. Horicon's mystery can be solved.
Whether it's the passage of time, the pleas from the family, the pleas from the community, the pleas from me, that exists. And when that person gets past that tipping point and shares that information, this becomes a hot case, not a cold case.
Chief Joseph Adamson might be the one tasked with trying to crack this case.
Bye, honey.
But he's not the only one still looking for answers.
Hopefully this will help, and maybe we'll find that person.
And we tried reaching out to Laura's family, but their phone numbers are disconnected. Even police have had little contact with them over the years. But the chief says the most important evidence yet could very well come from you, and he's willing to pay cash to get it. There's a $10,000 reward still available if you can help police close this cold case.
Everything counts. Every little bit counts. Thanks, Jen.
Yep.
Jennifer, thank you. If you know anyone or anything connected to her case, you can use Horicon's crime tip line. The number, area code 920-485-3559. Calls can be anonymous.